Okay. So this chapter analyzes the contribution of Rishi Bamkin Chandra in the freedom struggle and also as a writer in Indian scenario. Um, the author Sri Aurobindo, how he begins this chapter. He begins this chapter by telling us that we had been living in a country which produces heroes, saints, and rishis, which has produced heroes, rishi, and saints in every generation. At any given point, you will always find the rich Indian soil the to be giving birth to great people who have contributed in the development, in the evolution of our country. Okay, so he thinks that our culture is so rich that in every generation we have found that this country has been the sorry has been the home to great people, great minds who have contributed to our development. Now, one such person was Rishi Bamkin Chandra. Now, before telling us about the contribution of Rishi Bamkin Chandra, first he tries to define what he means by the term Rishi. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले श्री अरविंदो हमें क्या बताते हैं कि ये जो ऋषि जो उन्होंने यूज किया है बंकिम चंद्र के लिए जो टर्म, ये टाइटल, व्हाट डज इट मीन? एंड ही सेज दैट ऋषि इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम सेंट. Rishi and saint are two different things, and for him a rishi is like a seer, a person, a chosen person by God, through whom God wants to communicate some message to the world. ठीक है, तो एक सीयर, एक ऋषि कौन होता है? अ, वो जो है एक ऐसा इंसान होता है जो कि जिसको कि भगवान ने चूज किया है. वो वी कैन नॉट communicate directly with God. Therefore, a medium is required for God to send his message to the human beings. तो वैसे ही एक मीडियम, वैसा ही जो है एक माध्यम जो है कौन है? बंकिम चंद्र हैं. और what is the message that God wants to communicate through him? That was the message of Bande Mataram. Okay, so what is the message that Rishi Bamkin Chandra has given to the people of his nation? That message is Bande Mataram. Bande Mataram was a song which invigorated people, which inspired the citizens of India to fight for the honor and for the freedom of their country. Okay. So, first of all, he tries to tell us how great a poet or how great a writer is Bamkin Chandra. So he tells us that he has written beautiful. We had missed this portion yesterday, so I'll cover it today. That he has written many beautiful works like Kapal Kundal, Vishwavriksha, and Krishna Kantar's Will. But, hmm, but he's saying that these are not the works which make him great. He is a very good writer. He has written these works beautifully, but still, he thinks that Devi Chaudrani, Anand Mat, Krishna Charit, or Dharm Tattva are more important than his earlier works like Kapal Kundal, Vishwavriksha, and Krishna Kanta Will. And what is the difference between these two categories? ये जो श्री अरबिंदो ने जो बंकिम चंद्र की जो वर्क्स है उनको दो कैटेगरी में डिवाइड कर दिया है ना. एंड ही इज सेइंग दैट ही विल बी रिमेम्बर्ड मोर फॉर द सेकंड कैटेगरी, जिसमें कि कौन से प्लेज आते हैं? देवी चौधरानी. जिसमें कि कौन से वर्क्स आते हैं? देवी चौधरानी, आनंद मठ, कृष्ण चरित एंड Dharma Tattva. So, what is the difference between the two categories? The later works were uh, the later works helped him in communicating the political message to the people. ये जो आपकी देवी चौधरानी आनंद मठ कृष्ण चरित्र और धर्म तत्व हैं वो क्या है? They are a vehicle of his political ideology. इनके थ्रू जो है उन्होंने बंकिम चंद्र ने अपने पॉलिटिकल व्यूज को लोगों तक पहुंचाया एंड therefore he thinks that Sri Aurobindo thinks that Bamkin Chandra is a very great writer that is not debatable, yet people will remember him for his political works more than literary works. ठीक है, इसीलिए जो है उन्होंने बंकिम चंद्र को क्या बोला? अ सीयर एंड अ नेशन बिल्डर. Yet it is the bumpkin of these latter works and not the bumpkin of the great creative masterpieces who will rank among the makers of modern India. And what he thinks is the greatest contribution of Bamkin Chandra to the field of literature. उनको क्या लगता है कि जो है बंकिम चंद्र जो है उनका सबसे जो ग्रेटेस्ट अचीवमेंट है लिटरेरी फील्ड में वो क्या है? दैट ही मेड द लैंग्वेज बंगाली so reachable to the common masses. Earlier, Bengali used to be very. He has written all his works in Bengali, है ना? He belonged to Bengal. So Bengali as a language was very pure. जैसे कि जब हम संस्कृत की बात करते हैं, it was very like Sanskrit, which was very pure but also very difficult for people to understand. तो उन्होंने क्या किया? He mixed Bengali with Hindi and he created his own style of writing which could be understood by the readers in a better manner. उन्होंने क्या किया? He simplified the language. He simplified the language so that whatever he is writing could be understood very easily by the common people. वो जो है इंटेलेक्चुअल्स के लिए नहीं लिख रहे थे, जो भी उन्होंने उनकी राइटिंग्स थी वो किसके लिए थी? वो कॉमन लोगों के लिए थी और इसीलिए जो है उन्हें बंगाली में इतने चेंजेस करने पड़े या उसको मॉडिफाई ऐसे करना पड़ा कि जो है लोग जो कॉमन लोग हैं वो उनकी बुक्स पढ़ के अच्छे से समझ सकें. ठीक है, सो ही uncomplicated the language, he simplified the language, and for that he was criticized by the critics. जो the orthodox people, they thought कि जो है उन्होंने क्या किया? बंगाली लैंग्वेज को इम्प्योर कर दिया, जो उसकी ब्यूटी थी वो खत्म कर दी. But they failed to see this aspect that because he simplified the language, common people could read his works and also get inspired through them. He was blamed also for replacing the high literary Bengali of the Pandits by a mixed popular tongue, which was neither the learned language nor good vernacular. But the Bengali of the Pandits would have crushed the growing richness, variety, and versatility of the Bengali genius under its stiff, inflexible ponderousness. We needed a tongue for other purposes than dignified treatises and erudite lucubrations. We needed a language which should combine the strength, dignity, and soft beauty of Sanskrit with the verve and vigor of the vernacular, capable at one end of the utmost vernacular raciness and at the other the most sonorous gravity. So, um, so Rishi Bamkin Chandra, the first contribution of Rishi Bamkin Chandra, according to Sri Aurobindo, was that he simplified Bengali language and wrote in a lingo which inspired the common man, which percolated the common people, and therefore his message was communicated to so many people and which led to the inspiration of which led to the people to participate in the freedom struggle. ठीक है, तो ये उनके एफर्ट्स की वजह से, और क्या एफर्ट्स थे? फर्स्टली कि उन्होंने लैंग्वेज को सिंप्लीफाई करके लोगों को समझने के लायक बनाया. ठीक है, देन अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम द सेकेंड ग्रेट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन of Rishi Bamkin Chandra was the political message that he sent across to the people. और वो क्या पॉलिटिकल मैसेज था? हमने जो है कल डिस्कस किया था, that he mixed religion and patriotism. He portrayed the picture of Bharat Mata as a Devi, and therefore the religious sentiments got entwined into the concept of nationhood. And what was the purpose behind it? To make people, to motivate people to fight for their country with whole might. जैसे कि उन्होंने बोला है, श्री अरबिंदो ने क्या लिखा है कि मॉरल स्ट्रेंथ for Bamkin Chandra, moral strength meant three things. If India wanted uh, if India wanted freedom, then its people should be completely dedicated to the cause of freedom. जिसको उन्होंने क्या कहा? त्याग. कि अगर हमें जो है फ्रीडम चाहिए ब्रिटिशर्स से, तो हमें क्या चाहिए? हमें क्या करना होगा? फर्स्टली we have to sacrifice our love for our family, our love for material things, and love for our property. जब आप ये सब त्याग कर दोगे तभी क्या होगा? आपके अंदर इतना डेडिकेशन आएगा. You will have this focus upon winning freedom for your country. अगर आप जो है materialistic और emotional अगर आप मटीरियलिस्टिक और इमोशनल चीज़ों में ही बंधे रह जाओगे, कनेक्शंस में ही, तो क्या होगा? आप कभी भी अपने फुल पोटेंशियल के साथ यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू फाइट अगेंस्ट द एनिमी. सेकेंडली, इफ यू हैव दिस, अगर आपने त्याग कर लिया, उसके बाद आपको क्या चाहिए? यू हैव टू बी वेरी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, यू हैव टू बी डिसिप्लिन्ड. आपको जो है बहुत डिसिप्लिन्ड और ऑर्गेनाइज्ड लाइफ जो है वो जीनी पड़ेगी. Then the third element that he talked about was religious feeling into patriotic work. You have to look at your country not as a nation but as a deity, as a god. है ना? जब आप जो है इतनी डेडिकेशन के साथ, इतने फर्वर के साथ जो है अपने नेशन की तरफ आप जो है यू विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग फॉर द फ्रीडम ऑफ इट, देन ओनली इट इज पॉसिबल फॉर अस टू fight the Britishers. And also why he needed this new language, this new medium to communicate the message. उनको ऐसा क्यों लगा कि जो है एक नए मैसेज की ज़रूरत है जो कि एक नई लैंग्वेज में लोगों तक पहुंचाया जाए? Because he felt the political happenings of the time or the political methods that were followed by the leadership at that time, by the Indian leadership to win freedom for them was not sufficient. है ना? उन्होंने क्या बोला है कि वी आर नॉट बेगर्स, वी आर नॉट मेंडिकेंट्स. हमें भीख में जो है फ्रीडम नहीं मांगना है, जैसे कि प्रेजेंटली जो लीडरशिप है, पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप है जो कर रही है, वो हमें नहीं करना है. हमें क्यों नहीं करना है? बिकॉज इट इज़ आवर बर्थ राइट एंड वी शैल हैव इट. आपको अपनी राइट्स के लिए लड़ना पड़ेगा. एंड वी आर अ कंट्री ऑफ such a huge population, and if we stand against Britishers, then they will not be able to defeat us. है ना? और इसीलिए उन्होंने क्या बोला था? ओके he depicted मदर इंडिया एज कौन सी deity से कंपेयर किया था? माँ दुर्गा से, है ना? बिकॉज शी इज माँ दुर्गा की जो हमारे जो हम जैसे रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं या जो उनकी रिप्रेजेंटेशंस हैं क्या है, दैट शी कैन स्ले द डीमंस, शी इज सो पावरफुल दैट इवन द डीमंस कैन नॉट स्टैंड इन फ्रंट ऑफ हर। तो ऐसे ही फियरलेस होके जो है हमें अपने नेशन के लिए लड़ना है। He has also made a okay, this is what I was looking for. He bade us leave the canine method of agitation for the leonine. What is canine? Canine is associated with dogs. ठीक है, कि हमें डॉग्स की तरह बेग नहीं करना है, हमें क्या करना है? वी आर द लायंस, we are the lions and we have to fight, we have to nab the freedom out of the hands of Britishers.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of bade?
बेट मतलब बताना बेटा, टू टेल। आप कहते
Okay,
हो ना,
ma'am.
बिड मी गुड बाय, बिड हिम गुड बाय, तो दैट इज द ओरिजिनल वर्ड इज बिड, जिसका पास्ट टेंस है बेड। ओके, सो the first contribution was the changes that he brought about in Bengali language. The second contribution was the new political message that he had to deliver. And then, what was the third contribution of Bamkin to this nation? Was that he gave us the vision of our mother. The bare intellectual idea of the motherland is not in itself a great driving force. The mere recognition of the desirability of freedom is not an inspiring motive. There are few Indians at present, whether loyalist, moderate, or nationalist in their political views, who do not recognize that the country has claims on them or that freedom in the abstract is a desirable thing. But most of us, when it is a question between the claims of the country and other claims, do not in practice prefer the service of the country. So what he's trying to say that we as human beings are always guided by our selfish motives, है ना? हमें जो है, we cannot see the whole picture, the larger picture, जो हमारे पास होता है, जो हमारे करीब है और जिससे हमें सबसे ज्यादा फायदा हो रहा है, we prefer to do that work. We do not have, we generally do not uh, think about the larger picture and also about the sacrifices we have to make for getting something which is not near us. अगर आपको कुछ tangible नहीं दिख रहा कि मुझे ये करने से ये मिलेगा, तो आप उसके लिए उतनी मेहनत नहीं करोगे। अगर मैं आपको कहूँ कि जो है आपके सामने जो है एक बहुत सुंदर सी ट्रॉफी रखी हो, और जो है आपसे कहा जाए कि अगर आप ये कंपटीशन विन करोगे तो आपको वो ट्रॉफी मिलेगी, then you will feel motivated to work for it. So when you have something tangible in front of us to motivate you, then only you plunge yourself into something wholeheartedly. और इसी तरह जो है, फ्रीडम इज अ वेरी एब्स्ट्रैक्ट आइडिया, है ना? आप किसी को फ्रीडम दिखा नहीं सकते कि जो है अगर हमें फ्रीडम मिल जाएगा तो बहुत सारी बातें हम कह सकते हैं कि हमें ये मिलेगा, हमें हो सकता है हमें ये ऐसा हो जाए, बट इट मेक्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर पीपल टू विजुअलाइज व्हाट फ्रीडम इज। इसलिए उन्होंने फ्रीडम को किससे एसोसिएट कर दिया? जो हमारे मदरहुड है उसको, सॉरी, जो मदरलैंड है उसको किससे एसोसिएट कर दिया? विद रिलीजन. Because when people in India are very religious, and when it comes to their religion, they can fight wholeheartedly, they can put themselves into the fight wholeheartedly. ठीक है, तो this was a tactics, actually this was a tactics by Bamkin Chandra to motivate people to participate in the national freedom, and it proved to be very successful. And while many may have the wish to see freedom accomplished, few have the will to accomplish it. There are other things which we hold dearer and which we fear to see imperiled either in the struggle for freedom or by its accomplishment. It is not till the motherland reveals herself to the eye of the mind as something more than a stretch of earth or a mass of individuals, it is not till she takes shape as a great divine and maternal power in a form of a beauty that can dominate the mind and seize the heart, that these petty fears and hopes vanish in the all absorbing passion for the mother and her service, and the patriotism that works miracles and saves a doomed nation is born. To some men, it is given to have that vision and reveal it to others. It was 32 years ago that Bamkin wrote his great song, and few listened. But in a sudden moment of awakening from long delusions, the people of Bengal looked round for the truth, and in a fated moment, somebody sang Bande Mataram. So it was not that Rishi Bamkin Chandra he wrote the song and it became popular. है ना उन्होंने जब सॉन्ग लिखा तो ऐसा नहीं था कि सॉन्ग लिखते ही जो है वो क्या हो गया वो बहुत पॉपुलर हो गया. What happened that in a political meeting when the minds were charged with patriotism, ऐसा ही एक मोमेंट था कि जो है बहुत बड़े ग्राउंड में जो है लोग इकट्ठे थे और some political leader he was giving a speech और लोगों के अंदर बहुत क्या था उस समय जोश था और उस समय जो है किसी ने वंदे मातरम गा दिया और तब से वो क्या हो गया it became instantaneously the song which inspired a million of people again and again. It was sung again and again by the people to motivate themselves to fight against the British. और ये क्या बन गया एक मंत्र बन गया. The mantra had been given, and in a single day, a whole people had been converted to the religion of patriotism. The mother had revealed herself, and on that day, India became Mother India. Once that vision has come to a people, there can be no rest, no peace, no farther slumber till the temple has been made ready, the image installed, and the sacrifice offered. A great nation which has had that vision can never again bend its neck in subjection to the yoke of a corner. And when this sense of pride was instilled in people that India is not simply a nation, it is a deity who needs to be respected, who needs um, to be praised, and for whom the sacrifices need to be made, then there was no going back. अगर आपके माइंड में जो है इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग सेंस है पेट्रियाटिज्म का तो श्री अरबिंदो क्या कह रहे हैं कि अगर जो ऋषि बंकिम चंद्र के एफर्ट से जो पेट्रियाटिज्म लोगों में इंस्टिल हुआ वो इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग था और अगर इस तरह हम सोचने लगे कि हमारा नेशन सिर्फ नेशन नहीं है वो एक डेटी है तो क्या होगा कि वो कभी भी किसी के सामने झुकने के लिए तैयार नहीं होंगे, मीनिंग that we will never be subjected to anyone again if we have that strong fervor, if we have such dedication for our country. So this was the first chapter where Sri Aurobindo has made an assessment about the personality of Bamkin Chandra and also he has talked about the contribution that he has made in the national freedom movement in India.